Okay, I just need a favor from any one of you to let me know if you can see the screen, my presentation full screen, and that you can hear me loud and clear. Just give a thumbs up. You can write something on the chat function to let me know. Yeah? Okay, so we are recording. So just let people come in during the session. Okay, hello. Very good evening, everybody. Welcome to the final speech linguistic patterns workshop for the year. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, this lovely Tuesday evening. I hope you guys had a great day. I don't know if you guys had to go to work, but I actually had the whole week off because the company said we should take a break. So I basically was just preparing for this the whole entire day. And I'm so glad to be presenting it to you today. And I want to wish you guys a belated Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. So today's topic will be the art of giving, which is very, very relevant to the festive period, of course, and building rapport. Now, these two topics may seem that they're a little, separate, but actually they're very, very interconnected because at some point of building rapport, you can use it for both your personal and professional lives. So I'll bring that up a little bit later in my presentation. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Ms. Azlin, and I will be the speaker for the Speech Linguistic Patterns Workshop. I have been a public speaker for 10 years now, and I have recently pivoted to, teaching more of these sessions. It has been such great fun, such great joy, kind of having this space and getting to talk to you. Now you'll also see on some of my slides, there will be an icon called Let's Chat. Now, if you see that, I do encourage you guys to go over to the chat function and type away. I want to hear from you guys, and it'll be a trivia today, so it'll be fun. I just wanted to see your general knowledge, and it'll be fun to participate, but no pressure. Okay, so you'll see today my presentation will be full of presents, again, relevant to the theme of the art of giving. And you'll see that all over my slides. This is my gift to you, and your gift to me is your time and your attention. So I appreciate it very much. So the agenda for today will be understanding why we give gifts in the first place. So it's good to just, start from the fundamentals and the benefits of gifting. Secondly, we'll look at the ways of thinking about gifts. So I want to unpack a little bit on what our thoughts on our gifts, and also some tips to help you think about when it comes to buying gifts for people. Thirdly, we'll be talking about building rapport and why it matters. Again, this will be beneficial to both your personal and your professional lives. So we're all start 2022 very soon, and you guys have to go back to the office just like I do. We might have to build some of the connections or strengthen some of these connections in person again. So I'll be having some tips for you as well on the fourth part, where I'll be sharing the ways of building rapport. Okay, so part one, understanding why we give gifts and the benefits. You see all my beautiful presents there with the bow, some inspiration. Actually, I have been celebrating quite a lot, like the past few days, because of Christmas, of course. And then it was my father's birthday as well, the day before Christmas. And then I had some gifts for my friends, courtesy of my company. So I was giving out gifts as well. So we're in the festive mood. So it's also just good to reflect a little bit, have a little bit of introspection on why we give gifts in the first place, right? Is there anything a little bit more intrinsic than we actually realize? Research has shown, right, that giving gifts is actually a tale as old as time. It is a worldwide tradition and is known to be one of the oldest human activities that dates back to the origin of our species before civilization came to be. So yes, we're talking about the caveman era, right? So researchers have said that during that time, before our civilizations, cavemen actually give gifts to express their affection and show their appreciation towards one another. So sometimes they also give gifts for potential mates, right, to show their generosity or their capacity to find things and therefore give them beautiful things. So naturally, back then, the gifts are said to be a little bit more primitive. So they would give something like an animal tooth. They'll give you a tree bark. So at that time, of course, it means a lot to the tribe. And they will, of course, make all these different gifts into an accessory, or it could be a necklace, right, as the gift itself. So this actually dates back to before civilizations came to be. So this is actually pretty intrinsic. It is an important aspect of human behavior, right? So this dates back even before we know it. So that's why it's actually kind of a basic instinct for us to want to give as a form of physical symbol of personal relationships. If you mean something to me, if I value you, I would like to give something to you, right? So this actually establishes connection, and it is also an expression of social ties. And also, when we give gifts to other people, it is also our basic instinct to want to give something in return. So the reciprocal nature of gifting is also pretty basic to who we are. In the modern day, right, we may forget, sometimes we forget what the underlying purpose of gifting is, right? Because we feel like it's such an obligation, right? It's so customary. Whether it's a birthday, we of course have to get a gift. If it's an anniversary with our spouse, of course we have to get a gift. Or if it's, a colleague's baby shower, even then we have to get a gift. So in the modern day, we kind of forget that the purpose of gifting actually is to show affection. So it's good to just bring this to the forefront so that we remember that sometimes the gift itself may not mean anything or mean much or mean as much as the act of giving, because it is the expression that what counts and that's what matters. So we're going to play a trivia game, like I mentioned before, and I just want you guys to type away and see if you know this, or if you don't, then it'll be fun for me to share it with you, right? So speaking of before civilization, or we can now start talking about civilization when it started. If you guys know in which ancient city we first celebrated the birthday of the common man. Do you have any idea? Any guesses? So it could be in Egypt or in a country like China. So if you have any idea, the birthday of the common man was first celebrated in which ancient city? So do type away if you know. I'll just give you guys a minute. It's just 4 letters. Any idea? The answer is Rome. The birthday of the common man was first celebrated in ancient Rome. Now, why is it important to talk about the common man? Because actually, the history of birthdays originated from the Egyptians. 3,000 years ago, the Egyptians actually celebrated the birth of a pharaoh into becoming a god, right? So actually, it has some religious background to it, but it is in Rome that they celebrated the birthday of common men like you and I. So everybody gets a party, everybody gets celebrated for being born. The next trivia question is, let's see if you guys have a shot at this. The biggest gift in history was, do you guys have any idea? It's 15 letters. Don't be shy. You guys can go over to the chat box and type away what your thoughts are on the biggest gift in history. These are just some trivia points for you to think outside the box on what gifting really is, or how it has been represented in different forms. I'll give you a few more seconds. So the biggest gift in history actually was the Statue of Liberty in New York. Isn't it beautiful? So the Statue of Liberty was actually a gift from France to the United States for their 100th year of the Independence, Declaration of Independence. So this is one of the biggest gifts in history. So it actually teaches us that even gifting is customary as an expression of friendship, neighborliness, and peace between nations. So you don't only have to think about the gifts that you have to give to your family or your friends or your colleagues, but even nations have to think about how can we actually have a physical symbol of our relationship, right? Of our alliance. So the Statue of Liberty is one way to think of that. So if you're ever in New York and you see this, do remember that this is actually a gift from France. Last but not least, the most expensive gift in the world, or is one of, you guys have any idea? Oh, wow, well done. It is the beautiful Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal, of course, is a marble mausoleum that can be found in Agra, India. Now, this was actually a gift from an emperor to his favorite wife. Right now, it is actually worth 827 million, but it's actually not the most expensive. But they say because it is a monument of love, because it is so beautiful, it is actually considered priceless. So because they don't want to tag any amount to it, even though I figured out it's actually 827 million, they don't want to say the amount. So this is said to be the most priceless gift in the world, therefore the most expensive. The Taj Mahal, well done, very good. Okay, so now we go to the benefits of giving gifts. Now this is by Eileen Avery. She's a gift expert. I didn't know there was such a thing until I did my research. And she's also a gift historian. So she says that giving gifts is actually really, really important as, once again, to connect with each other and to build our social ties, right? Especially during trying time, especially during this pandemic when we are not able to touch one another. We still want to stay in touch, right? We still want to connect with our loved ones, or whoever who is in a different country, and we want to stay connected to them. So we can find ways to make our presence felt by giving gifts. So giving gifts helps in connection. Secondly, research also has shown, interestingly, that the act of giving produces more happiness over time for the giver and outlasts the joy of giving a gift. So essentially, they're saying that there is more happiness to giving than to receiving. It is better to give than to receive, right? Which is the age-old line that we all know. Now, there are many reasons to this. It can actually help with your mental well-being. It can help with your physiological well-being. It is essentially your ability to be generous, to give back, and to make an impact, make a difference, make somebody else happy. That capacity, that capability actually makes you feel better about yourself. So interestingly, when you give, your self-worth also increases, and you're able to make somebody else's day, and that impacts your joy as well. So every time you're feeling down or you feel like, nothing's going right, one of the advice that they are actually essentially giving is think of ways that you can help others. And it is in helping others sometimes, or giving to others, that you can actually help yourself, make you feel a lot better. And lastly, for the people who feel a little awkward to talk, and I know some of those people, and you're not very good with your words, a physical gift can actually express your appreciation for someone without the need for words. Now, again, I don't want to say it has to be a physical gift. Some gifts, as I'll explain later, is not actually in the form of a physical object per se, but sometimes through actions, through acts of service, for instance, you actually can express how much someone means to you without having to use certain words, right? I know sometimes it can get super awkward to say, this is how much you mean to me, and blah, 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 and it can get, very awkward for Asians, especially if we're not, used to saying, I love you, or I care for you, or I appreciate you. We give them, a home cooked meal, for instance, and that is my expression of my love and appreciation for you. Okay, so now we're going to think about some of the ways of thinking about gifts. Okay, so first of all, let's just think about what stresses us most about gift giving, okay? So the first is this research done by a sociology professor in Belgium, that he says that the value of a gift reflects how much you value the relationship. So this portion of gifting actually can make us feel very, very anxious, right? Because you don't want to give a gift that is too low of a value because you're afraid that that would reflect the value of the relationship that you have. In the same token, you do not want to give something too extraordinarily expensive either, because then you are creating an extraordinary imbalance as well. And now this person feels like I need to reciprocate with something that is of that similarly high value, right? So this kind of like stresses us out a little bit. And another topic that also kind of stresses us out is if you ever refuse to give or ever you refuse to accept a gift, it is tantamount to declaring a war. So this is a little bit exaggerated, but it is basically you rejecting an alliance. You're rejecting a personal relationship. So it's not just you trying to be humble and like, no, thank you, I'm good with the gifts. It is actually extremely rude, as I could say, for you to turn something down. And at the same time, if you were to think that, okay, I don't have to give this person a gift, it is also rejecting an alliance with them if you don't want to give. And some of the reasons why you may not want to give is because you're actually thinking about how some people view gifting as materialistic or clutter, right? They see that, oh, it's such a waste of money. Don't ever spend on me. I don't need anything. It's just going to, make my house very messy. I'm not a hoarder. So when you think of that and all these other things, the value of the gift, whether you should be gifting someone something or not, should I be accepting something from someone, or some of people's personal ideologies about gifting, it does stress you out, right? It makes you so anxious. So what I have put together here is some tips that can help you speak the love language of gifting, right? It is not everybody's love language, so not everybody is understanding of, giving as some way of expressing your values. So I can give you some tips where it might make you less anxious about gifting. So some key questions to ask yourself when you want to buy a gift or you're considering giving something to someone. The first is, who is this recipient to you? So first, establish the relationship. Is this a family member? Okay. Or is this a colleague or your best friend? And then you also have to think about the proximity of this relationship. Yes, it's a family member, but is it a distant family member? Is it a cousin? Is it a friend that you only see like once or twice a year? Or is it a colleague that, it's just someone who is a little bit more platonic and, it doesn't really have any best friend vibes, as I would say. So this also can help you try to calibrate on what it is or what the value is for this person, okay? So first question is, who is this recipient to you? The second question is, what values is your relationship based on? And how can the gift reflect those values? So what this means is every relationship you have, there's a core to it, right? Sometimes it is the friend that you like to go to concerts with, for instance. So this is my concert buddy. So therefore, the value of your relationship or your friendship is music. So you think about the perfect musical gift or musical related gift for this person, or if this person has a favorite artist, then you think about the various merchandise that you can get for this person. And if this person is, let's say, somebody who you like to joke around with, he's full of jokes all the time and you guys go out to hang out together, more like to let loose, then it is okay and nothing wrong with giving them a gag gift, which is something like just a novelty piece that you can just put around your house, and it doesn't really have to have any functional value to it. Something funny, like a funny book, a book about jokes or something, is actually pretty appropriate once you establish what the relationship is with this person. If it is a colleague, for instance, like my manager who I met recently for Christmas lunch, I know that he is, my manager, so I can't give him a gag gift, of course, but I knew that he loves candles. He loves for his house to smell really nice. So I got him a candle, like a scented candle, and it's, you know, a very special scent that he can use in his new house. He actually renovated his house. So it's also a Christmas gift as well as a home, a welcome gift for his home. Next question that you can ask is, what kinds of generosity have this person shown to you in the past? So you could also reflect about the gifts that he or she have given you in the past, and maybe you can also calibrate the value of the gift that you want to give based on that. Or if this person has, you know, shown you a gesture, for instance, you know, they were there to help you in a very difficult time in your life, then you know that, okay, maybe you can give them something a little bit more meaningful as a thank you for helping you during that time. So just think about reciprocity in this situation, if there has been past generosity that you can reflect back on. The last question is there something this person might appreciate more than a physical object? Now, this also ties back to the previous slide where I talk about some people have personal ideologies that no physical object isn't the most beneficial to them and their lifestyle, and you have to be respectful of that. And that doesn't mean that, okay, I don't have to get you anything, you don't want anything, so here's my friendship, which is fine. Friendship is also a gift, I'm sure. But to show your appreciation to someone, it's always good to just put a little bit more thought into it, put a little bit more effort into it, and, you know, give them something that you really, that really comes from the heart, and it really shows that you thought about the relationship on a deeper level. And therefore, this gift is an expression of how much you mean to me based on how much effort I actually put in to find it and think about for you. So I have put together some high impact. I say a high impact because I want to also, you know, contrast it with the fact that some of these gifts can be inexpensive, right? So just because, you know, you don't get them lavish gifts, for instance, doesn't mean that they cannot be high impact or they cannot be very, very meaningful. So this is a lovely picture. This is pre-COVID, okay? So we got to hang out. Anyway, it was 5 of us. And so this is my teammates at work, and I love them to death. And this was back in 2019, I believe, when we were actually invited over to my manager's house, and he cooked all of us dinner and dessert. It was amazing. And we went there, we played a lot of games, we watched movies, we even did like a dance video, and it was fun. So I just want to say that one of the times, you know, that I felt like was a gift, even though it wasn't a physical gift, was quality time and acts of service. Acts of service, you know, it also can mean like, I will cook for you. So he cooked for us dinner that night, and it was sublime. It was so delicious, and it really was from the heart, because you think about the hours he took in the kitchen to prepare all those dishes for us, and he made sure that all our dietary requirements were met. And, you know, he went grocery shopping even that day for us, and he cleaned up after us. I mean, it was so beyond anything. And the time that we spent together and us laughing together, to me, I remember it till today. And this picture means so much to me because, you know, we were in the moment, and it was just so much fun. So sometimes that is a gift as well. And it's a memorable gift. I still remember about today, and I still am beaming and smiling about it because it was just a beautiful day. And that was a gift to me. Other things you can do that is, you know, simpler as well. It's just maybe a movie night in, you know, quality time. It's just plan a movie night at home. Even you can just put on Netflix or HBO Go, and you can, you know, just buy some popcorn, or you can cook some popcorn and, you know, have time together. So that is also a meaningful kind of gift. Other things, if you want to, is to volunteer for a very important cause. You can do it together. So again, gifting is not just for, you know, people you know necessarily. You can also give back to the community, right? Even in caveman times, they give back to their tribes, you know, people in their society. So think about that as a gift as well, especially during this festive period. And you want to make a difference. Volunteering is also a great way to give back. Offer to run an errand. So this is a very simple way to give back or to give somebody in a very subtle way. If your neighbor needs you to, you know, water the plants while you're away, that's also actually a pretty meaningful gift to that person, right? You using your time to take care of somebody else, or walk their dog, or buy groceries from them if they're not feeling well. So those are other ways that you can actually help and and make somebody's day. And that to me is still a gift. Next one I want to share. This is one of my good friends, Natalia. What's up, girl? Now she is actually in New Zealand at the moment, and this is a picture I took of her in 2000. I don't know what 6 years ago. But this was 6 years ago, and she told me over lunch. This was the very lunch that she was actually going to stay in New Zealand, and she was going to do her master's there, and she had told me that, you know, the one thing that she's going to miss the most is her dog, Rufus. She says, I'm going to miss him so much. So what I did was I went to her Instagram and I went to find a picture of Rufus, and I went to look online for a designer who could actually put his face on something that she can use. So I thought, okay, she will probably, you know, be in school and she needs to carry all her books or her laptop, or, you know, even maybe she wants to go grocery shopping. So a tote bag would be perfect. So I actually took the picture, I cleaned it up, you know, just removed all the backgrounds, and I typed out my Rufus on the bag. And then I said, no, this is my go away gift for you. And I hope that it reminds you of Rufus. You know, you can take him anywhere or everywhere you want to go, and know that he's with you, even though no physical he isn't, but this is just a good reminder. So personalization is also such a special gift. By the way, this was so inexpensive. I think I spent less than $30 to actually make this, and it was such a quick service as well. But it made such a huge impact on her. She was so excited that, you know, she got to metaphorically bring Rufus with her, and that I actually remembered that she said that Rufus was actually the one that she's going to miss the most. No offense taken, of course, but we are still talking, by the way. Natalia and I, she actually just like video called me like a few days ago, and she told me she's pregnant, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so exciting. Yes, so again, because she means so much to me, this gift was so fun to make. And yes, it did take a little bit more effort because I had to, you know, design and everything. But yeah, high impact. And I'm so happy that she loved it, and that, yeah, a baby's on the way. It's so exciting. So customized gifts is also very special. So some ways that you can think about, if you cannot find a perfect gift for, you know, somebody in terms of something that they can actually use, just think about something that can be meaningful to them. So even if I had not done the tote bag that she can actually use, you know, for her, you know, daily routine or whatever, I can simply just, you know, take a picture of her and her dog and frame it, you know, and that frame, I just give it to her. It's all done up, because nowadays people don't really print out the pictures anyway. So if you do that for them, it'll be something physical that she can put on her nightstand, and she can remember, you know, her days with Rufus. Other things you can do, which would be super fun if you are on the creative side, you can of course write or perform a song. How fun! How fun! I had a poem written for me once. It's very special, and again, very simple. It was just like a piece of paper, but of course you have to do the creative thinking, right? And if you love music all the time and you can play the guitar, you know, you can write a song. No, you can do a cover, right? With of an artist whose lyrics actually is what you want to say. But, you know, for instance, Taylor Swift could put words so beautifully together, perform a Taylor song or Ed Sheeran song. Yeah, so performing a piece could also be really meaningful. Another form of gift giving. Or other things you can do in a creative space. You can do painting, handwritten notes, or you can do a special curated Spotify playlist, right? So again, people who are a little bit awkward with their words, then use somebody else's words. It's okay. So you pick some of your favorite songs, pick some of their favorite songs, and do like a Spotify playlist. And then you say, this is for us. This is the memories that we had, you know, during our time together, blah, blah, blah. It'll be so special. So again, just thinking outside the box on the ways that you can give. And my last category of gifts is experiences. So this is me. I was skydiving in Fiji. So this was a gift to myself, but the trip actually was a gift from Tourism Fiji. So Tourism Fiji actually sponsored my flight and my accommodations to Fiji to experience Fiji. But I decided that I wanted to go skydiving. So again, very memorable. Did I have anything physical? Technically, I did have the certificate to say that I have skydove in Fiji. But again, the memory of it was just so, so special. And yeah, it is, to me, I consider it a gift to myself that I will never forget. It's very, very meaningful. And it's a once in a lifetime experience as well. So you could always think of unique activities that you feel like this person will only get to do once, or this person will only be willing to do once. So it could be maybe bungee jumping in Singapore, at AJ Hackett, or the Mega Swing, or you can take them to trips to amusement parks, right? You can go to USS, or if you are overseas, you can take them to Disneyland. Again, all these opportunities, may seem once in a lifetime because, they're pretty extravagant for someone to just decide to go. So this is actually a little bit more on the expensive side. But you can also do spa packages if you want, or you can give them a massage on your own, right? So that is your own hands, shouldn't cost you that much. Or a vacation or staycation will also be really, really nice so that they are relaxed and that they can recharge and refresh for the new year. Again, nothing physical that they have to keep, and quote unquote clutter their house with, but it will be a memory for them for a lifetime. Okay, so these are just some tips on how you can think about gifts. Now, we talked so much about gift giving and building connection. So now it begs the question, why is building connection so important in the first place? Why do we have to strengthen connection? Why is connection so important to human beings? So it brings us to the third part of building rapport and why it matters. Rapport is defined as the connection or the emotional connection or relationship that you have with others, right? It is a state of harmonious understanding between you and another person or you and a group. Rapport can happen naturally, or it can be built or developed consciously. What it means to have rapport naturally is, sometimes you just meet somebody like for the first time and you guys just hit it off, everything just falls into place. You guys just totally vibe. And that is very lucky because it means this person has some similarities with you from the get-go, right? And this is something supernatural. You don't have to force anything, and it is just so easy to be with this person. So that's great. But sometimes you have to put in a little bit more effort. You have to build the rapport consciously. You have to work at it, and that is okay. That is why small talks exist. So the things that you can use to build, this rapport, this is just top line. I'll share with you more in detail later on, is through shared experiences, similar views on certain topics, and having the same sense of humor. So what I want to say is that sometimes if you feel like, okay, I want to establish a rapport with this person, right? Especially in a professional setting. So let's say you have a client, and you want to establish a working relationship with them, but you have to break the ice. You have to break the ice. So something simple such as, just talking about the traffic, like, oh my gosh, traffic today was crazy. I thought I was going to be late. What is it with the service nowadays? Or, oh my gosh, the train was late again. Simple small talk like that can actually spark a rapport, spark a relationship. Because if you can actually find common ground with somebody on simple, basic things as a start, it already breaks the ice and a little connection is starting to be formed. So why rapport matters? So as mentioned, rapport matters both in our personal and professional lives. Why? Similar to gift giving, it actually helps us connect with other people, right? It establishes the personal ties we have with this person. I give you a gift, and it means that I value you, and we now have a personal relationship, right? You want to reciprocate, and therefore this is a symbiotic relationship. So rapport helps us connect with each other because, again, you're trying to find common ground with somebody, and you're trying to find somebody with similar views that you're able to talk to, and this builds trust, this builds empathy, and this builds understanding, especially during a trying time such as the pandemic. Like I said, when you constantly want to stay in touch with people who you cannot physically touch at the moment, you're all separated, but you still want to stay connected with each other. And that's why you have to find ways in which you can strengthen those relationships. And I also want to say that you shouldn't take relationships for granted. Okay, even though you know somebody for years and years and you feel like, he knows that I love him, or he knows that I think about him. Simple gestures such as just texting somebody, hey, how's it going? It means a lot. It means a lot that, even for that second in the whole day you thought about me and you wanted to reach out, it means a lot. So I would just want to encourage people to, take just small steps in making sure that you sustain a relationship that you already have. Secondly, when it comes to a professional setting, I would say rapport is extremely important, especially in the team that you're working with, especially day to day, right? Now, a team with good rapport has the ability to develop a great level of trust. Trust is very important in work because I want to make sure that we both are working towards a common goal together, and that nothing that you say to me, no form of, comments that you make are actually personal to me. It is actually productive. Yeah, you're trying to give productive comments, that you're not trying to be negative about the situation. You want to help the situation because you have a common goal. So when you have rapport, you are able to connect with somebody in a very good way, then you can establish trust, because we're the same people, right? We have connected. Now I don't expect you to backstab me or lie to me. So therefore now I trust that whatever you say about this project that we're working on, for instance, is actually coming from a good place, and is to just make sure that we all reach the common goal, whatever that may be. Again, when you have a team with great rapport, it also helps in innovation, right? Because you know that you can never say anything too wild or too crazy that other people are going to speak negatively about, or that they are going to be condescending about. You can just give all your crazy ideas. This is a safe space where you can express yourself. Whatever it is, I trust that you are all going to receive it with love, and then we are going to find a way of the best solution to move whatever project forward. It can help with productivity when you trust each other. There's no backstabbing. It can also help with collaboration work of like, I have an idea, you build upon it, somebody else build upon it, and now we all have this amazing idea that was contributed by all of us. And at the end of the day, it can also help with efficiency. And I don't just want to talk about all the technicalities of work, making sure that you're productive and you're efficient. I also want to make sure that you enjoy being at work. I want you to be happy. Happiness is also a very, very important part of your professional life. And it's easy to say that when you cultivate a culture in your team where it is okay to laugh, with each other, it's okay to let loose, it's okay to joke around sometimes. That makes you happy, right? You look forward to going to work. You look forward to speaking with your team members, working on a project, especially when it's, a very difficult project that you all have to overcome together. And sometimes it helps to just laugh at certain things, just to make sure that we're all in a healthy state of mind and that we don't get too stressed out. Because if you have a pretty stressed out mind and you're not happy in your team, it is very difficult to be productive, very difficult to be innovative, very difficult to be efficient, or even want to collaborate, right? So again, rapport helps us connect with each other, professional and in personal. But I do want to touch a little bit more professional, because we're all working adults, I'm sure. And or you're working with other parents on certain levels, and you want to work towards a common goal. It is important that you have rapport with these people, so that again you can have trust with one another, and that you actually enjoy the relationship that you're having with this person and the place that you're at. If it's at work, I hope you're actually enjoying your time at work, because we spend more hours at work than we do sometimes at home, for instance. So it's important to cultivate that culture where rapport is very strong, and that you make it a point to strengthen it, even though you are probably doing it through Zoom. Okay, so part 4 is ways of building rapport. So these are very, very top line. These are in no way exhaustive whatsoever. And I'm sure you guys have many, many other ways to do it as well. But these are just top line. And when you want to come down to the activities, I'm sure you guys can think of those as well. So one of the things that you can think of when it comes to building rapport is to have good communication. So good communication, again, is to establish trust and empathy. And one way that you can establish good communication is to show that you are attentive, meaning you are actually listening to what they're saying. And people can tell when you're not listening to what they're saying, you know what I mean? When you just kind of like blank space, or you're kind of like looking at your watch. You know, this person is talking, you're constantly looking at your watch. It means that you're not really present with them. People want to feel connected to you. People want to know that, and this time I have your attention, and that this is us trying to build the rapport. So it's important to show your attentiveness. And how do you do that? It's through your body language, right? To be open. Don't cross your arms, or don't look down. Have eye contact, smile with them, and listen to what they're having to say, so that you can actually respond, right? Even if it's simple things like you want to nod, or they made a comment and you actually have a past experience that you can share with them, and it shows that, yes, I'm in this conversation with you, I'm present, I'm listening. So that's a way that you can actually have good communication with someone. And lastly, also to embrace different views. I think this is important, because sometimes when you hear that somebody thinks a different way, you feel like, okay, I cannot be friends with this person. Like, no, this is just not working out. No, but just be open. Listen to this person's different views, especially at work. I appreciate when somebody has a different point of view, because it means that we can have a conversation. I want to hear what it is that makes your side of the argument strong, and I'll share with you my side of the argument. And yeah, we can learn from each other, and that's always very helpful in a work environment. In my experience, it's always great to have people with different point of views, different experiences, different backgrounds, and we kind of hash it all out, and then we see what is on the table, and we learn from each other, and we come up with the best solution. So similar to personal relationships, when you hear that somebody has a different point of view, try to reserve your judgment, right? Try not to just rebut. When somebody says something different to what you think, you're like, oh, but you try to cut them. No, just stay open-minded and try to listen to what they have to say, and try to put yourself in their shoes as well, and see, okay, if I'm coming from this background, and if I'm, I've gone through what it is that you're going through, how would my point of view change? So it's good to just hold back on some of your comments if you feel like they're very different from the person who's speaking, and then try to understand and be open-minded, and learn. And then if you still feel your point of view is worth listening to and sharing, then you can share with them, oh, that's very interesting, thank you for sharing, but this is how I feel, and let them have a response to that, and then you guys have good communication. So again, don't just shut it down just because people are different. And of course people are different, all of us are different. Secondly, is finding common ground. So again, even though we're all different, we definitely have something in common at the very bare basics, right? So start with small talk. I've mentioned it previously before. It could be just simple as like, oh my gosh, the traffic today was crazy. Or, oh my gosh, the weather is so erratic nowadays. I bring my umbrella, it doesn't rain. But if I don't bring my umbrella, it rains cats and dogs. Simple things like that. Very simple common ground. You can help this person know that, oh, okay, I feel the same way with this person about this particular thing. And then you guys can build your small talk to a bigger conversation and build a friendship. Not every relationship has to be based on people with exactly similar views. It's good to have people who think differently as well. It helps you learn. But when you're just starting to build a relationship, I would think that small talk on simple, basic topic, or even like COVID or Omicron or traveling, everyone's talking about that. You can join in those conversations as well to kind of start with building rapport. And also just start asking questions, because if you want to find out about somebody, the only way you can do that is actually to ask those questions and try to see what interests them. And then if you feel like, oh yeah, me also, and then you can build on that. Because sometimes maybe they like soccer, for instance, and you may not like soccer, but then your brother does, and then you're like, oh, I know what you're saying, because my brother blah blah blah, he watched whatever cup and then Singapore didn't win, blah blah blah, and then you have a conversation from that. So it's okay if you don't necessarily share those views. Any experiences, you kind of can just bring that out, and making sure that whatever interests them is actually relevant to your life as well. So it's not like they're going to say, I love this, and you're like, oh, I don't love this, and I'm just going to walk away. No, just fight for it. Just know that this person has already shared, has opened up about one of their favorite things that they're passionate about. Find a way that you can actually bring past experiences or experiences of people you know around you to connect with them based on that. So this demonstrates an understanding of their feelings and past experiences, right? People want to be understood. People want to know that what's important to them on some level is also important to you and it's relevant to you, and it should be. Because if you are telling me that this conversation that you're having with this person is very difficult because he's super shy, then whatever he says must have been very difficult to share. So if he's just opening out, take it and build on it. Make sure that this person knows that it is comfortable to talk with me. It's okay, and we can have a conversation based on whatever you're comfortable to talk about. Okay. The third one is creating shared experiences. Okay, not to be cliche, but I think team bonding activities are so fun. Like, I mean, we haven't had that in a while because of COVID, and we haven't been in the office often. But even when we have like team lunches together, like team dinners, it means so much to me because we are creating memories together, or if COVID is over, you guys can do like bowling, or like rock climbing together, or any crazy activities together you can do that will be memorable for you guys as a team. And it's just great to also see other people in different environments, see them let loose a little bit. And even if you're not able to connect with them in the office when everything is just very, very, serious, then if you take them to a more fun environment, then you can maybe find a common ground there. So creating shared experiences has so many ways to do that. You actually also can do fun activities at the office, simple team bonding games. There are a whole bunch of them on Google. You can just search them up, but creating those experiences are important because if you don't have those initial similar interests as them, then those shared experiences will be the similarities that you guys can talk about. Okay, and other shared experiences, again, in the office is working collaboratively on the project. I always find that when you overcome a difficult situation together, when it's a very, very difficult project that the client is just such a nightmare, overcoming it together actually enhances or strengthens the bond that you have with your teammates, because when we are facing something very difficult, that's when we're the most vulnerable. And we want to confide in somebody and open up to somebody. And you can only do that with people that you trust. So when you're able to talk to your teammates about the struggles that you're having on a certain project, and this person is able to empathize with you, you automatically feel a stronger bond with this person. This person has become closer to you. And in future projects, you know that in difficult times, I can always turn to this person. This person is going to give me a listening ear. This person is going to give me a fantastic advice. This person is going to not judge me for some of the mistakes that I've made. And that's actually going to help you make a better outcome for your project, whatever those may be. Last one, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. It's coming to an end, guys, is of course to show appreciation for them. So this is actually going back to gift giving. And so there are many, many occasions that you guys can actually celebrate a person in your professional life, even, right? Key milestones, their birthdays, make something special. Sometimes, like even in my team, even when my team at work, even when we cannot see each other, we make it a point to like always, send like cute messages like happy birthday, have a great one. Or, we send like funny GIFs just to make their day, just so that, again, just a moment of thought for that person actually means a lot, because you have 24 hours in a day and you have spent like a couple of minutes thinking about me, thinking about how to curate this message, how to, find the perfect gift to share with me. That means a lot to me because you take a moment of your time to think about somebody else, and that means a lot. And that is also a form of gift giving. Other personal milestones, of course, is like their wedding. We celebrate our team members when they just got married. One of my teammates actually got married on the 26th of December, and we got her like a staycation at Fullerton Hotel with her new husband. And yeah, it's our way to celebrate them and to know that they mean a lot to us and that we value their role in our team and that we wish them the best for their marriage. So that also builds rapport. And also think about professional milestones that can be important to celebrate, such as promotions, or them closing a major deal, pop a champagne or go out for dinner, and don't be afraid to use your words if you're comfortable with that, to just share, you did a wonderful job, well done, or words of kindness. Kindness in the form of words is also an important way to show your appreciation, and again, just building rapport with that person to know that I have thought of you as a valuable member in the team, and that what you have done has actually helped us achieve much more, and we really appreciate you. Words like that, I remember every pat on the back, or any public acknowledgement of your successes and your accomplishments actually goes a long way. So again, celebrating somebody or to give doesn't have to be a physical object. Okay, even gestures, words of affirmation, acts of service, these are love languages, can also be a form of gift giving, right? And also, of course, for festive period, think about that you guys can celebrate together, such as Christmas, having Christmas dinners. That also builds rapport. Again, it also creates shared memories and shared experiences that will mean a lot to them in the time to come. And I have come to the end. I have come to the very end of my session, of my workshop. These are all like the selfies that I've taken throughout the year when I've conducted these workshops. Hello? Did someone say something? Okay, so I just want to say that it is in giving that we receive. Now, this is from St. Francis of Assisi, and it is super, super true. It is when I am able to be given this opportunity to give back to you guys and to, share my personal experiences or my opinion about certain stuff, and you guys giving me the time. It really means a lot, and this has been a dream for me because I have always been a entertainer, host, and now pivoting into sharing and doing these workshops has been a dream of mine. So when you give me your time, your attention, and your trust in these workshops, it actually gives me a very, very important thing, and that is purpose. I have purpose now, and I feel extremely fulfilled. I feel extremely joyful and satisfied with what I can do with you guys. And I want to wish all of you a happy holiday, a happy new year. And I hope to see you guys again next year. We are going to have more topics, and we can have more people on here. We can even have special guests to kind of chat with me. And yeah, to hear more from the parents and what you think about this. So once again, thank you all for an amazing 2021. And I hope to see you guys next year. And thank you for joining me tonight. And I hope you guys have a great dinner, have a great the rest of the week. And I'll see you in 2022. Bye.